What is good, guys and girls of YouTube? My name is Justin Omoe, and today I want to talk to you guys and girls about the goods and the bads about both working on a mixing project for mastering as well as working in a new project for mastering. Make sure you hit subscribe if you are interested in your boy's stuff, and don't forget to hit that bell because that's where you'll be notified of my stuff when I put it out. The project that I'll show you just now is by the homie Zay. He's been a good long supporter of your boy when it comes to mix and mastering, so thank you for coming through. Hopefully you could stay through with the good works, you know what I'm saying. All his info is in the description there down below, so you can check him out if you are interested. Actually, let me just run the project and you could see basically how long it takes to load the project here. So I'll click this and we'll see. So it sees processing. Alright, y'all saw how long that took. Just remember that time it took to load this project. So here's the project from the homie Zay. I'll play a little bit. I guess we'll start around here, I guess. Yeah.
Money, I might need a bigger ceiling. Niggas infected, they need some penicillin. Ain't no way around to get from around me. I'm just trying to make it to the thousands. I was undiscovered, but they found me. Pain, retribution, these niggas mindless.
Alright, so that's basically a piece of the mastering. You can see this is the end of the verse into the chorus here, which the chorus has less of an intensity, which I'll mention again later again. Let's talk about the good things about mastering inside the project you mixed, aka this thing right here that we're watching. The good thing about this is that everything is here. Everything is here that you could, tingle with for the song. It's all here. So let's say, for example, you want the kicks to be lowered. You could go here, find the kick wherever my eyes hurt right here. Take it, lower it down if you want, and you'll be able to adjust it on the fly while you're doing the mastering for it. That's the cool thing about it. You're able to change things. Let's say the vocals in the chorus sound a little bit too low. You can raise them up. If they sound too high, lower it down. But if you're in a new project for mastering, that's when it sucks, because you're gonna have to go back into this project. As you've seen how long it took to load the project, you would have to load back the project like I showed you, export the whole song, go into the new project, and drag it in there again. And if you want to change something again, you do the whole process over again. That's one thing that would suck about mastering in a new project as opposed to mastering in the project where you already mixed. You have freedom of changing things faster and right there. But of course, with great power comes great CPU overload, which is a problem, which I could show you an example. I have a video here, so you could take this easy lost world. Wow, I got that on my first try. So you heard that, and you see over here CPU overload. There's like 20 voices going on. Yeah, that's the one thing that could suck, especially if you're someone like me who has a analog hardware processor that I have to use to basically play out the whole song, to record the whole song and create a new track, which I did right here. Fortunately for this project, I don't have that issue of having too many voices or overloads. But the project that I worked on, if you want to check, I made a whole thing last week on it, a whole playlist. I created all the sounds, generators are included, and effects as well. Everything was in there, except for the mastering, by the way. I can show you that right there. You can see that this is in a new project file. So yeah, if you don't have analog hardware, it could be something you could move out the way, but it'll still be annoying to work with. You might not even know if that's the right feeling for the song, because that interference keeps coming to you. That's something that probably you could, I don't know, figure out or fix if you have better specs. I don't know though, because my computer is pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. And even I get that. Now that I've talked about the goods and bad, I guess, for working in here, let's go over to a new project which I already made here and talk about the goods and bads about mastering in a separate project. So here we are in the project with just the mastered wave. I have two here, but it's the same thing, it's just made unique, and I'll explain what the hell this is in a second. The cool thing about mastering in the new project is that you're basically free of CPU. If I could see view plugin performance monitor, yeah, you can see there's only 3 things involved here, whereas if I go to the mixing project, that was my mistake, let me go back there. In the project where you're mixing, you can see a whole bunch of stuff going on. Just to look at the difference, all of that down to 3. The rack is basically the bridge that I have here that has all the plugins. Well, a lot of them, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 and so forth. You have so much CPU to work with, even though it's not necessary. You just have free space and you're just working with one mixed track, which is, like if you've seen the mix just now, there's tons of that. Here we only have one, technically one, because it's a unique file. Yeah, the other good thing about having it in a new project is that you're able to visually see your mix. You can see the intense parts of the project, which here, it's pretty much stale. Here there's a lower side, then there's a big piece here, and then there's a lowered piece. Well, not lowered like this lowered, but it's less, and then it's back to this big piece, and then a little bit less here. Well, it's the same thing as this here in a sense. Yeah, this is good because you're able to see what you could adjust and stuff like that. There's things called micro dynamics as well as macro dynamics, which explains the automation here. This is an example of macro dynamics. If I were to show you the first track up here, let me focus on that. This one I lowered down by, let's see, how much is this? This is 5.2. I'm lowered down to 6.5, 6.2. Let's do 6.2 for example. So if you can see, this is basically the whole verse section. This is the chorus, and having a chorus that's louder, which is this example we're gonna try out. We're gonna see how it works. I'll be playing it with the master inside, so yeah.
I would really win, no telling. I don't give a fuck about you niggas' hard feelings. I've been stacking money, I might need a bigger ceiling. Niggas infected, they need some penicillin. Ain't no way around it, get from around me. I'm just trying to make it to the thousands. I was undiscovered, but they found me. Pain, retribution, these niggas mindless.
So you can see that by the time the chorus hit, it got louder instead of being as low as you could visually see it right here. That's one good thing about it. We could take the whole master and create a unique track and have transitions, make it louder if we need it to be louder, or lower if we need it to be lower. I think this is too much though, I'm not even gonna lie.
Get money, I might need a bigger ceiling. Niggas infected, they need some penicillin. Ain't no way around it, get from around me. I'm just trying to make it to the thousands. I was undiscovered, but they found me.
Yeah, it's still a little bit too obvious, but as I probably shape it out better.
Get money, I might need a bigger ceiling. Niggas infected, they need some penicillin. Ain't no way around it, get from around me. I'm just trying to make it to the thousands. I was undiscovered, but they found me.
Yeah, I guess that's even better in that case. I'll still have to play around with it, but still, you can see what having just the mastered wave track could do in terms of the whole song, which is the mastering process. How better it would be to control it here than it would to be in the project where the mix is. Here we're working with the whole mix as a whole. In the other project, we're working at all the little pieces, and yeah. But yeah, it's better to visually see here than to let me just move that back there, what I'm saying? Than to guess it or use your ears. Your eyes could help you out better with that. So that's the good thing about working with mastering in a new project. But yeah, hopefully this was a little bit of better insight for y'all. And like I said, give it a shot, see what it is. Let me know what you guys and girls think, and which do you prefer. And since this is the end of the video, I guess I'll tell you what I prefer or what I like to do nowadays. I like to do the mastering in the mix and then save the mix as a preset and then drag the preset like I did here for y'all to show y'all in a new project. That's pretty much a better way for me to do it, the way I like it at least. But yeah, thank you guys and girls for watching. Hopefully this was informational to y'all. I'm Justin Omoe. I have to take some medicine, but with that being said, peace. I'm out.